Put your mask up.
I'm eating and drinking. You got your mask down, bitch.
Sir.
Yes, I did.
Wow. Yes, this is exactly why we call these people the COVID cult. 100%, because these are the people that are willing to use violence in order to prove a political point or even uphold the doctrines that come from the great COVID high priest, Dr. Fauci, and all of the false prophets that peddle all of the COVID hysteria that we've been seeing for going on 3 years now. This is a perfect example of what the COVID cult literally looks like, and people need to understand that it's real. It's not just some right-wing talking point. This woman is a real person. She actually committed this, and she is literally stupid. But we're also going to talk about some stuff tonight that took place a couple days ago or yesterday. A little boy in New York that was threatened by arrest from the NYPD, the boys in blue that are supposed to uphold constitutional oaths that they took, but they are clearly not doing that. But a little boy was threatened with arrest and actually kicked out of a restaurant in New York because he was unclean, didn't have his papers for COVID. So, welcome to Drew Hernandez Live. My name is Drew Hernandez, hopefully one of your favorite podcast hosts here on YouTube. I just want to say Merry Christmas to every single one of you guys out there. I know I was gone for like a week. The last time you probably saw me was with Turning Point USA on stage with Kyle Rittenhouse, Jack, Charlie, and Elijah Schaefer. It was amazing. There was more than 10,000 people in one room. There was standing room. No standing room. There were people standing everywhere. It was awesome. Praise God for that. I met amazing people there, hundreds of people, thousands of people. Shout out to every single one of you. So just want to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I hope you guys had an amazing Christmas these past couple days, spending time with family, loved ones, people that you care about. But overall, guys, I hope you are ready for the new year because there's something huge coming from me, and I can't announce it yet, but it is in the works. I'm super stoked and excited because every single one of you will be involved, and I am excited for that. Also, guys, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification and toggle on the all selection right now. If you are new to the channel and you're watching for the very first time, I just got to let you know, YouTube hates me, so you have to be diligent to keep up with the show. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you're still subscribed, all that good stuff. I want to thank every single one of you, the DH Alliance. Shout out to every single one of you. Shout out to all of you. Blessings to the chat. Drop your city, your state, your country. Let me know where you're tuning in from right now. And guys, if you want to support me on this channel, you can drop a super chat right now below. Whether now in the middle of the show or at the end of the show, we are 100% independent on this show. That is how you could support me, or you could use Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal. The link is in the description below. Or if you love these new shirts, this is my favorite shirt. I was so like, I designed this stuff, praise God for that. And it actually looks cool and I like it. I don't know if you guys like it, but if you want to support me, you can go get a t-shirt right now in the merch store. This is the merch store. You can go get this t-shirt, anti-censorship. It's obviously making a huge statement. It comes in various colors as well. For the ladies out there, there are ladies versions. There are crop tops, all kinds of stuff, sweatshirts, all that good stuff. Some people, people love different colors. So whatever you're into, I love the black because I'm always wearing black. So yeah, I am doing that right now. So thank you guys. That is the merch store. The link is in the description below. Or you guys, like I said, could support me for as low as $5 a month on the membership section of this channel. DH Alliance, you support everything I'm doing on this channel. Or you could customize how much you give monthly through Patreon. The link is in the description below. All right, smash that like button, destroy that like button. It's good to see you guys. It's been a few days. I had an amazing Christmas. I just, there were people commenting saying, hey, is Drew okay? Is this and that? I just, when you're involved and engaged in politics on a daily basis for 365 days out of the year, you need a break, especially to spend time in family. I'm a firm believer in that. That you need to take a break and you need to spend time with loved ones and people that you care about. So that's where I was. I'm never sleeping on the job, never lazy, not just, kind of losing it or giving up, guys. Just every now and then, I just need some space to breathe. I just want to unplug from the political world. I'll post things here and there, but I think as human beings, obviously we are in a fight for the long run, but every now and then being in this world, of media and, going at it every single day, I just want to spend time with my family. So I hope you guys can appreciate that and understand that. Everything that is donated, whether you're buying a t-shirt or you're subscribing, you're joining the membership section for as low as $5 a month, Patreon, individual donations, super chats, all that good stuff goes directly to support this show and everything I do independently. So thank you guys very much. And I thought it was hilarious. I don't know if you guys saw it, but some guy literally got Joe Biden to say, "Let's go, Brandon," on a phone call. It was like a prank phone. It's just like, this is how dumb Joe Biden really is. Like, he can't even identify when he's being trolled in front of the entire world. So shout out to that guy, because that was pretty hilarious. I mean, how do you deceive the puppet president of the United States to not even realize that he's being trolled in front of his wife, in front of everybody? But I mean, that is just exactly who Brandon is, and it's probably not that hard to do, in all honesty. It's probably not that hard to do. And at this point, I mean, if Joe Biden was not such an authoritarian simp for totalitarian communist psychopath, sociopaths in the United States of America, if Joe Biden wasn't that guy and he just wasn't like a open puppet to the deep state global agenda and the cabal, man, dude, I would feel bad for the guy. But sometimes, like, you're watching Joe Biden and you start to feel bad, and you have to remind yourself, like, no, this guy's not a good guy, and he's not just some old guy that doesn't know what's going on. Like, Joe Biden is clearly understanding who's pulling his strings, and he's allowing it to happen. And this is why I say I don't feel bad for Joe Biden, is because Joe Biden himself, Brandon himself, knew just exactly what he was getting himself into. So if he is losing his mind going into this, he fully was aware that someone would be literally controlling him if he actually became the president of the United States. So I don't feel bad for the guy. I don't feel bad for this person, because this guy is destroying the lives of many people in the United States of America. He's trying to roll back, saying that there is no federal solution to the virus and that there shouldn't be any federal mandates. But like, this is what these people do whenever they're coached, whenever their ratings or their approval ratings are going down. And obviously Brandon is tanking in the ratings. So there's moderates that he has to recapture. And if people are stupid enough, they'll probably go back to Biden and think that he's the solution for the country. But I mean, it's only been 1 year. We're coming up on the 1-year anniversary, January, of puppet Joe Biden being installed as the POTUS of the United States. And things have not improved. They've not improved at all. Things have gotten worse, way worse. Trump is nowhere to be found. He's nowhere in sight. Trump is not in power. He is obviously in Mar-a-Lago. He's obviously in Florida. Looks like he's preparing to run. But Joe Biden, okay, President Kamala Harris, the Democrats are the ones that are in charge right now. Whether you believe it was legitimately done or not, they are. And things are not getting any better. Things are getting worse for the American people. Things are not getting better for black people. Things are not getting better for minorities. Things are not getting better for the little guy. Things are getting worse. Gas prices are skyrocketing. The supply chains have not gotten any better. Everything that's taking place at the border is still a major issue. Millions of people have flooded into the United States of America illegally. There are little girls are being abducted, raped by illegal aliens. You see these stories that keep coming out on a daily basis, and it's only going to get worse, by the way. The economy is not getting any better. Our foreign policy, we have been made an embarrassment because of Joe Biden and what happened in Afghanistan with the botched withdrawal. It obviously could have been done better. Even Joe Biden himself had to backtrack, saying that he was completely unaware that this would be a catastrophe if we pulled out now. And then it attempted to blame it on Trump. Okay, so things have not gotten better under Brandon. Things have gotten worse because they have opened up the entire country to this global cabal and this agenda that is destroying everyone. And people need to understand, it doesn't matter what your politics are. It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat. It doesn't matter if you're a Republican. It doesn't matter if you're white, you're black. None of that matters. What matters is when these people are in control, and what they care about the most is if you are willing to comply. And that's what we're seeing across the entire board. And if people cannot identify that yet, then you are just simply not paying attention. And what we get nowadays is a bunch of simps and a bunch of people that do not want to admit that this is taking place in their country. Now, I'm a little riled up today because I've been sitting back watching all these things happen, and there's a lot of stuff taking place. There's a couple stories that I want to go over tonight that just, when you see this stuff, when you watch these videos, it only pisses you off. And I don't care what your politics are at this point. Should not matter. Should not matter. What's happened with the virus in the United States of America, respectively, let's talk about the USA Today. What this has done to millions of Americans and their minds. People have been brainwashed. They've been manipulated. They've been controlled via fear, and that is taking place still to this day. COVID-19, here we are going into 2022, and we still have woketards out there on airplanes that are threatening elderly people for not wearing a mask because they're eating their snacks. And she doesn't even have a mask on herself. This is why I say, whenever you're we'll get into this. Okay, if you have not seen this video, you need to watch it right now. And I'm going to play it for you right now. But this is how stupid things have truly become. You're going to see this video, this stupid woman that's on an airplane. She gets triggered because an elderly man behind her is not wearing a mask because he's eating. And then she proceeds to threaten him. And then she physically assaults him. She smacks an 80-year-old man in the face for not wearing a mask. And the entire time, she's not wearing a mask. Okay, this is mental illness. And I'm not knocking on the mentally ill. But if you are mentally ill and you're not trying to do anything to get any help, you have some serious issues. And there are millions of people in this country, in the world, that are mentally ill, that have been manipulated through the COVID cult. And they've joined it without even realizing it. And they enforce these doctrines that have been passed down from Fauci and all the COVID false prophets. And they violently and aggressively uphold them. Anyone that defects, anyone that is disobeying the great high priest, COVID, Dr. Fauci, they get violent. People say, well, I don't believe you. Well, here's the video. It just speaks for itself.
Yes, you are.
Yeah,
You're
put your fucking mask on. Who invited you to come
I'm eating, and I can
drink your ass up? Don't you dare talk to me like that.
God damn it.
You
I'll
stand,
talk to
you
you
stand
any
your
fucking
step
way I want
up.
to.
Stand your ass up. Stand your ass up.
Sit down, Karen.
Karen?
You're a goddamn Karen.
No.
Sit down.
Sir.
Sit down, Karen.
Sit down, pussy.
Pussy, no, you're the pussy.
Oh, no, you're the dick.
Ma'am, do you want the police to meet you on the ground?
What about him?
Mask up. Now.
Okay, so the flight attendant, okay, she's this is why I say this is all about power. Like, what's happened with COVID and the mandates, jabs, masks has empowered like sociopaths, people that are narcissists, and they just like needed a reason to control people. It's brought that out of them, and this thing is a perfect example of that. Because notice the beginning. Let me rewind this real quick. Notice how she tries to flex on an 80-year-old man, which, by the way, you're kind of pathetic if you're trying to get tough with an 80-year-old person. Like, what's wrong with you? That's not even a matter of respecting your elders. You're just kind of like, damn, really? You think you're all bad because you're intimidating a 80-year-old person? Wow, watch out. But anyways, notice how she tries to like dominate and assert her authority because she's been empowered by Dr. Fauci because of the masks.
Put your fucking mask on. Who invited you to come
I'm eating, and I can
drink your ass up? Don't you dare talk to me like that.
God damn it.
You
I'll
stand,
talk to
you
any
stand your
fucking
step
way I want
up.
to.
Stand your ass up. Stand your ass up.
Sit down, Karen.
Karen?
You're a goddamn Karen.
No.
Sit down.
Sir.
Sit down, Karen.
Sit down, pussy.
Ma'am,
Pussy, no, you're the pussy.
Oh, no, you're the dick.
ma'am, do you want the police to meet you on the ground?
Okay, so now the flight attendant is literally gonna tell her mask up, and this woman is so stupid, so emotionally manipulated, thinking with nothing but her emotions and everything that she's been told by Dr. Fauci and CNN and MSNBC. She's so stupid that the flight attendant is gonna tell her mask up, and she's so dumb that she's gonna turn around and think that the flight attendant is talking about the old man. She doesn't realize she's not wearing a mask. Bro, this is mental illness. These people are mentally ill.
What about him?
Mask up. Now.
Mask up.
Put your mask up.
Mask up. Tell him to mask up. Tell him
You
to
got
mask
your
up.
mask down, bitch.
Sir,
Yes, I did.
stop it again.
Now you're going to jail. That's assault. You're going to jail. As soon as we get it laid you're going to jail. Bitch. Karen. Hey, spit on me. Now you double going to jail. Bitch.
Okay, let's back up here. There's a lot that happened in these few seconds. Okay, people might say, Drew, it's a little, you're kind of like, it's a little bit of a stretch, Drew, when you say that this is a cult. Now, let's talk like from like a theological perspective. One of the identifying factors of a cult is that they have a centralized leader, or they have like a centralized doctrine that they all abide by. Now, someone might say, well, like, isn't that kind of like what Christianity is and Islam and all that? But here's where you're getting into cultish territory. Is when you study cults, whether they're religious or non-religious or whatever it may be, they have their leader, they have their doctrines, but one of their identifying factors that you see in history is that cults are willing to violently, okay, uphold and defend whatever it is that they have come to believe, or whatever their doctrines are, or whoever their leader is. They're willing to use violence. They're willing to threaten people. They're willing to use fear accompanied by violence, physical violence, in order to uphold whatever it is their doctrine may be. Now, this is a perfect example of that, because this person has obviously been brainwashed via the COVID cult, and she's obviously believed the things that Dr. Fauci has, literally implanted in her mind. CNN and MSNBC, all these things. She believes that she's on the right side, that she has the authority, that she has the power, okay? So everything that she believes is now manifesting against an individual, and cults especially will target and threaten people that defect or that don't obey. You study cults and cultish history, it's always the same. These people are willing to use violence against people that don't comply, that don't obey, or that defect, okay? So once this crazy person is already trying to flex on an 80-year-old man, and once he calls her a crazy Karen, calls her the B word, he's pushing back because she's crazy, she then proceeds to use violence in order to defend what she believes in. This is literally a cult. It's a COVID cult. Whether mask or jab, this is what, just notice the odd behavior, okay? Notice, number one, she slaps him in the face. She then tries to choke an 80-year-old man, and then she spits in his face. But this is supposedly, we're in the middle of a pandemic. You have to wear a mask on a plane, and she's pissed off because he's not wearing a mask because of what? Because it might spread the virus? I don't even know. These people aren't even thinking that way. It's about control. But then, after she does that, she spits in his face, tries to choke him, and is just getting physically violent with this person. It's a cult. Check it out.
Sir.
Oh, and then she tries to scratch him. That's the one I forgot. Okay, she slaps him, tries to choke him, spits in his face, and then scratches an 80-year-old man. Dude, isn't that just creepy? Isn't that like, look at her hands. Look at her hands as she reaches for an 80-year-old man. Look at that. It's like a zombie. These people are like zombies. Guys, I'm not trying to be funny, but it's like, it's weird. Look at the hands.
You're going to jail. As soon as we get Atlanta, you're going to jail. Bitch.
Ugh, what is that? Her breath must smell disgusting. I mean, a person like that, what's wrong with you?
Karen, hey, spit on me. Now you double going to jail. Bitch.
You fucking piece of shit.
Piece of pussy, sit down, Karen. Sit down, Karen. Sit down, fucking Karen. Look, she punched me.
Put your fucking mask on. Tell him to put his mask on. Put your fucking mask on.
She scratched my face. I wanted to fuck
Put
out
your
of here.
fucking mask on. Put your fucking mask
Put
on.
yours on, bitch.
I will put my mask on. I will put my mask on when you put your mask on. Thank you.
It's crazy.
on the airplane. Punched this man in the face, spit on him, scratched him,
Yeah.
pour hot water on my leg.
I guess she poured hot water. She tried to pour hot water. I don't know, dude. Like, this is, I don't know if that's attempted murder. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section. I mean, like, is that attempted? I mean, in the midst of a pandemic and everyone's freaking out over COVID, where you like spit in the face of an elderly person? I don't know what listen, number one, isn't this whole mask thing, like, isn't this whole jab thing about, like, protecting the elderly, protecting those that are vulnerable, protecting those that are, more open to catching the virus and dying because they have a bad immune system. Older people are more open to dying but there she is on an airplane without a mask on, getting total totalitarian sociopath, screaming at an elderly man to put his effing mask on. He says no, Karen. She slaps him in the face. She scratches him. She spits in his face and then attempts to choke an elderly person. I don't think COVID is the threat in this situation, guys. I think it's this psychopath, sociopath that is obviously tyrannical and thinks she can just control what a human being does or doesn't do. This is the epitome of what we've been warning people about. The epitome of what we've been warning people about. And the far left brought this out of people. People like Dr. Fauci, CNN, MSNBC, the far left, all these politicians with the fear hysteria about COVID and everything that's going to happen to you and your family. The White House puts out that, the COVID spike season is here and, you're going to deal with a lot of sickness and death. This is what it's done to people. It's empowered people because there is pride in the heart of man and humanity, and you give people a pass and a reason to exert that pride over other humans, they will use it. This woman is a perfect example of that. I want to get a little bit more details. To me, it's mind-blowing. It's truly mind-blowing. But let's get this up. Oops, hold on. Give me 1 second. Let me pull this back. Okay, let's get this up. FBI detains Karen. So she's been detained, and I believe she's been charged. She's crazy. FBI detains Karen who assaulted maskless man on Delta flight. The last time I checked, you guys, I have not heard of one anti-mask person on an airplane getting physically violent like this with someone that wants to wear a mask. It's always the other way around. It's always the other way around. Oh, it's the people that don't want to wear masks that get physically violent. No, it's the people that are wearing masks that want to force other people to wear masks on an airplane 30,000 feet in the sky acting like a terrorist. It's them. But this is what they've brought out of these people. The FBI detains Karen, who assaulted maskless man on Delta flight. The woman also did not have a mask throughout the entire encounter. Woke tard. Literally the definition of a woke tard. An American woman lost her temper with a senior citizen on a flight on Sunday. She has now been detained by the FBI as a result of her actions, according to TMZ. Patricia Cornwall. Apparently she is a porn star. I think she poses for Playboy. I don't know. I don't know if that's relevant, but she's an idiot anyways. But I guess she's a whore. Patricia Cornwall, who was flying from Tampa Bay to Atlanta on a Delta flight, became violent with the old man as he wouldn't pull up his face mask while he was eating and drinking. And that's allowed, by the way. For those of you that aren't flying frequently on the airwaves, they make you wear a mask. But when you're eating or drinking, when they pass out the snacks or they come down the aisle and they ask you, what do you want to drink? You're allowed to take your mask off and eat and then put it back on. This sociopath just doesn't care because she's crazy. The woman also did not have a mask on throughout this entire encounter. Cornwall proceeds to shout at the man and eventually hits him in the face. The flight crew had to jump in just in case Cornwall's actions continued. The old man told the woman that she was going to jail, called her a Karen for assaulting him twice. As it turns out, the man was correct. The video shows Cornwall being greeted on the runway by a police car. A video of the incident went viral on social media since December 25th. It has received over 60,000 likes and 20,000 retweets. I'm pretty sure it has gone up more than that. It's millions of views. Let's take this down. Listen. This is why I say this is a mental health crisis. And you say, Drew, why do you say that? Because when you have someone as crazy as this, that it's one thing if she's sitting there with her mask on, just screaming and screaming at the man to put his mask on. But when she's too stupid to realize that herself doesn't even have a mask on, screaming at another human being in order to put his mask on, there is something severely wrong mentally with this person. I'm not giving her a pass. She's a totalitarian sociopath. Okay, that's come out of people. And if she could, she would have thrown this guy in a gulag just to get her way. That's in the heart of man. That's why these policies are dangerous, because this lives in the heart of human beings. And when you put policy forward that brings this out of people, and then when these kind of people get in power, you get Soviet communist Russia. You get Cuba. You get communist China. It ends in bloodshed. It never ends okay. What am I saying? What I'm saying is she is obviously a part of the COVID cult, because a cult is willing to use violence, physical violence, to aggressively threaten people in order to maintain their belief system or their leader. That's exactly what these people do. They wholeheartedly believe this. And these people, given the chance, if you put them in power, they will come after you, destroy your life, and they'll throw you in a gulag and kill you if they had the chance. It's just true. Look at that behavior. An 80-year-old man. That's possibly attempted murder. Imagine if she had COVID. She spit in the face of the man. Is that attempted murder? I mean, I'm not a lawyer. I'm pretty sure that's something, man. She attempts to choke the old man. She slaps him in the face. She attempts to scratch him. She's cocking back and hit him again. That is what we have been warning every single American about. That is a perfect picture of where this country is going if we don't resist these communist sociopaths, these globalist psychopaths. If we don't push back, those are the kinds of people that are going to get into power and rule over your life. Because that's in the heart of man. Oh, Drew, there's no way. No way. The Democrats won't ever take it that far. Really? It's happened in world history before, and here we are. Idiot, stupid people, man. It's all about power. So much for protecting the elderly. Oh, it's those that are, less immune to COVID. It's those that are vulnerable to the virus that we have to protect. Oh, mask up, save lives. Get jabbed, save lives. Every time I talk to someone that is a left-leaning idiot, always says the same thing. Well, aren't you a Christian, Drew? Love thy neighbor, go get jabbed, wear a mask. What about the old people that are all gonna die if they get COVID? You don't care about them? Yeah, it's people like this that say stuff like that are willing to smack an elderly person in the face, spit in an 80-year-old's mouth, literally, attempt to choke him and scratch him over not wearing a mask when she herself doesn't have a mask on. That's it right there. That's literally it right there. And it only gets worse. It only gets worse. Everything that's taking place with these unconstitutional, these mandates that are happening in California, in New York, in the United States, this is how far things really do go. These are the types of people that want to rule your life. People don't know this, but when you study communism, especially the Soviets, Stalin, Lenin, I say this a lot, but when they had their regime changes, they would get rid of people in the police or in the military. Anybody that didn't believe in the message or anybody that seemed to be a threat that was not willing to obey or comply. Anyone that had a conscience, whenever they would do their regime changes, they would purge everybody, and they would install them with pedophiles, criminals, rapists. They would literally take them out, take them out of jail and put them in the regimes, in the military, in the police, because those are the types of people you need to uphold a murderous regime like that. A woman like that is someone who would be recruited in the regime to come. Guaranteed, 100% guaranteed. We don't live in an age where people have any morals anymore. People have been calling to defund the police and they've been successful. That's where this goes. That's where it's gone. We've sacrificed morality. We've sacrificed any code of ethics, anything. And we've done it in Hollywood. We've done it in the music industry. We've done it in education. We've done it in, you name it, the workplace. Now it's in law and order. Now it's in the justice system. Now it's in the police. Now it's all in that. And now this is why it's going to start affecting people on a grand scale. And a woman like that is the exact candidate that would be used by the communist regimes of the past as an agent of the state. That's the people they look for. And it's like people just they don't want to accept it. They don't want to believe that that's happening in this country, but it 100% it is. Now, I'm going to play you guys another video. This really bothered me. I believe this happened either last night or the night before. And you guys know my views on the police. You know that I respect good cops, men and women. You know that I have no tolerance. I have zero tolerance for crooked cops, bad cops, cops that uphold unconstitutional edicts, laws, orders, mandates. You guys know my views on the police. I'm not 100% back the blue because the blue is not 100% good. And that doesn't mean that I'm anti-police. I am just one that is willing to call out bad cops when I see them. Does that mean that I'm on the side of BLM and I want to abolish the police and defund the police? Absolutely not. Because one bad apple doesn't ruin the entire police department. This is where I stand on this. But I'm still, at the same time, I'm not this blind conservative where I'm just like 100% back the blue, even when there's cops threatening little kids in New York and kicking them out of restaurants because they don't have their COVID papers. Okay? So if you didn't know that about me, well, now you know, because I am not one to just sit back and be loyal because of an idea. I'm loyal to the truth. I'm loyal to what is good, which means that I am loyal to exposing anything that's bad that comes my way, whether it's a police officer, a firefighter, a Marine, a veteran, the president, Trump. Doesn't matter to me. Okay, it does not matter. So just so you guys know, that's who I am, and that's what I believe. And if we are dealing with people, police officers, that are breaking their constitutional oaths and just completely turning their backs on the American people, I will call them out, and I have no problem saying I don't support you. You should resign, and I'll explain to you why I believe this. So here we go. Play this video. This is a little boy in New York. I don't know what restaurant this is. It might be Applebee's. I'm not sure. But this is a little boy with his family at a restaurant in New York. The NYPD shows up. I'm assuming because the restaurant called the cops on them. Not only because they're not wearing a mask, but because the little boy doesn't have his COVID papers. So he and his family get kicked out of the restaurant because they're unclean. And then the NYPD, you can hear them in the video, will say, well, you guys are trespassing. You're gonna get arrested for trespassing. That's BS, okay? And I'm gonna explain to you why cops like this are a disgrace to the United States of America. Cops like this are a disgrace to law enforcement entirely, okay? And I'm gonna explain to you why. You're gonna watch this video, and it's really gonna bother you because it bothered me. So here it is.
Yes, you are.
She just basically saying that she can't serve, otherwise you're not going to pay for it. You know, you have the card? I know, but you don't have it, then you're going to have to leave. And if not, leave right now. No, have a minute. You're not going to stay here. Okay? You still have to leave, man. Okay? All right? You came in with a jacket?
Wow. Scaring a child, traumatizing a child. Hope you feel good about yourself, NYPD. is disgusting. This is gross.
You guys failed us last night. You failed us last night. You all failed us. We're here for you and your kids.
Disgraceful.
You failed.
You failed yourself, NYPD. You failed yourself. Is this what you signed up for? Is this what justice looks like for you? Is this what you dreamed of when you wanted to be a cop?
This much money too long. You got backstairs so you can come in. You're killing yourselves to live. You're killing yourselves to live. Look at this.
Attention, please. All right, so unless you have vaccination cards, all right, you have to exit the restaurant. All right. If you leave voluntarily, all right, you will not be pressed. There will not charges pressed against you. Otherwise, you will be arrested for trespass. All right. This will be your only warning, please.
Yeah, a child crying is funny, right, for you?
Let's have this conversation because I think there's a lot of conservatives out there that are not ready to have conversations like this, but I am because I just don't care. Those police officers are a disgrace and they should resign immediately. And any police officer that violates their constitutional oath is a disgrace to law enforcement and should resign immediately. And I think what's happening right now, especially in New York, when you have, there's at least over 10 police officers in there, at the least. When you have all these police officers show up into a restaurant, scare the hell out of a little kid and his family to check them if they have their papers to see if they're clean or unclean so they can eat in the restaurant. And you scare the little boy, you find out that they don't have their papers, and then they get kicked out of the restaurant, and then they all get threatened with trespassing if they don't leave. And little boy is borderline crying. He's extremely scared. That's a disgrace. That's not America. I'm sorry. I don't back that. That's not the blue that I back, 100%. And if you're a police officer, I want to say this publicly because I've told this to police officers and their families. Listen, if you did not count the cost when you became a police officer, that the day could come where you will have to defy a tyrannical government, whether local or federally. If you did not count the cost, that the day could come where you have to turn your back on unconstitutional, authoritarian, local or federal government mandates, laws, edicts, orders for the sake of protecting the people you swore an oath to protect, then you should have never been a police officer. Never. Because that day could come, and that day has come for a lot of good police officers. And I know it's hard. It's a lot easier said than done. And shame on our elected officials that have put good police officers in this position, and shame on at the local level, the federal level, shame on the politicians that have put police officers in this position, but also shame on the officers that uphold this and just don't care, because there's both. And I want to encourage police officers right now that are stuck in this fear where they feel like, I don't want to lose my job because my livelihood is on the line. So I'm just going to continue enforcing these horrendous tyrannical orders for the sake of protecting myself. My friend, that is what a police state is. And if that's your mindset, then shame on you as well. Because we understand that you have to protect your family, but at the same time, protecting your family at the sake of destroying the country that you live in, that's as un-American as it gets. And we are now going down an age where some people, especially police officers, people in the military, people are going to have to make some serious decisions moving forward. And yes, it's a bad spot to be in, but people might come out and say, well, you know, they're just following orders. Well, you know what? The Nazis said the same thing. And look where that led them. The Nazis commit crimes against humanity. Nuremberg trials, they all said the same damn thing. We were just following orders. We feared for our lives. It's not enough. It's not enough to destroy the life of another human being to save your own. Especially if you are a police officer, especially if you are a member of the community that people look up to protect them. I understand this is a very hard conversation to have, and I'm not anti-police. I am for the police, the good police officers that sacrifice their lives every single day to take that job, to put your life on the line. I understand. I support you, but I do not support crooked, bad, unconstitutional cops, and I never will. I don't care if people unfollow me. I don't care if people unsubscribe. I don't care if they're like, well, we're back to blue until there's a boot on my neck. No, I'm sorry. You got the wrong guy. Whether left, right, I don't care. This is not political for me. When we talk about the police, this is not like a right-wing talking point for me that I subscribe to. I subscribe to what is good, what is true, in the context of what the police are biblically mandated to do. And that's not it. That's not it. Shame on the NYPD. There are officers in police departments that are crooked and they have zero problem upholding a police state. Zero problem. Shame on every single one of them. They're not real police officers. They're agents of wickedness. That's what they are. Okay? But I have to say this publicly because there are officers I know that are good men, good women that are in this position where they have to choose between their livelihood and their families or upholding these unlawful decrees. You have to trust in God with that decision, but I know that going down that path where you're willing to sacrifice your country and your countrymen for your own public safety, that is how we end up in a police state. That's it. If we end up in a police state, it'll be because of good men doing nothing, especially police officers. What do you guys think in the comment section below? That's just my opinion. That's how I feel about it. I don't know how you guys feel. I mean, obviously I care about what people, have to say. But for me, there's good and bad in everything. And I think conservatives or right-wingers, you have to be very careful with the political ideologies that you subscribe to. Supporting the police should have never been politicized, but it has been because the far left made it that way. They wanted to defund the police. They made it a left-wing talking point. You want to defund the police, then you're a part of the good guys. So by default, defunding the police, that's a right-wing thing. That's what I subscribe to. But you got to be careful with political ideologies because the truth still stands. The truth has to be dealt with. And a lot of people in their pride, they'll refuse to say what I'm saying publicly because it's like, I've been pro-police my entire life, or I am back to blue no matter what. I have the flag outside, the American flag with the blue stripe right outside my window. But when I see stuff like this, I don't say anything. That's how we end up in a police state, bro. When good men and good women, they do nothing. Even when it's their heroes that fall. When your heroes begin to fall and you remain silent because you're unwilling to swallow your pride and you're unwilling to speak out against what's wrong against someone that you viewed as heroic, that's a problem. And my friend, that's idolatry. And you have to be willing to speak the truth against anyone at any time, even yourself. Especially yourself. We have to hold police officers accountable because if we don't, this is the kind of crap that ends up happening. It's unacceptable that the NYPD storms into a restaurant, scares the hell out of a little kid to check his papers to see whether he's clean or unclean, and then finds out that he's unclean and then kicks him and his family out of the restaurant in tears. That is a disgrace to this country. At 100%, I don't care. I'm not saying all cops are bad. I'm not saying everyone just turn on police officers. I'm just saying hold these people accountable, just like politicians. There are no 100% good people 100% of the time in any organization, whether it's politically or non-politically, and the police too. I don't know if you guys agree with this. This is just how I feel because I see this stuff. It's not right. It's not okay. I was never 100% back to blue, and it's because of stuff like this. I've addressed things in the past of what's happening in Australia, the police state that's taking place, the boot that is firmly being put on the necks of Aussies in Australia. You see all the videos. People are like, Drew, that's Australia. America first. Let's talk about America. Okay, well, we're talking about America now. This is happening in New York. And it's a disgrace. Because I love my country more than I love police officers. And what I mean by that is I love what America is and what America stands for. And I don't love a police officer that is going wayward more than that. Because I care more about freedom and the American people and the Constitution of the United States of America. This is not just a talking point. This is the country that you live in. I'm not an anarchist. I'm not a hardcore libertarian. But on this point, I believe in law and order. I believe in good cops. I believe that is biblically mandated. But police officers that turn their backs on me don't get my support. Period. And that's where I stand. And that's individually, case by case. That could be an entire department. How do you think you end up in a police state? When the police go wayward. And that's where I stand. I'm not saying I'm anti-police. I am anti-bad cops. Period. I am. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. But this is just... I don't understand how this doesn't bother people. It should bother every single one of you in this chat, because it shouldn't be happening. It just shouldn't be happening. But this is where we are heading into in 2022. This is where these tribalistic, polarized politics have brought us to, where we don't have anything normal any longer. Everything is hyper politicized. We're even supporting police officers as a political identification. Should have never been. Should have never been. It should have never been. Alrighty, guys. Well, let's do some super chats. This is how you guys can support my channel and anything I do independently by myself. You guys can drop a super chat now. Anything I said that you guys support, drop a super chat right now. We can do some Q&A, or you can use Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal. The link is in the description below. You can leave a little memo when you give a donation, and I'll read it live on air. I already see some people coming through here on Cash App, so we will get to those. Thank you guys so much for the support. Like I said, drop a super chat, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, or consider joining the DH Alliance for as low as $5 a month. The link is in the description below. Or you can customize your own monthly giving on Patreon. That link is in the description below as well. So we need you guys' support. Make sure to copy the link and share this wherever you go. If you guys have to head out early, please do that right now. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, and toggle on the all selections. Smash that like button and copy the link and just go post it somewhere on your social media. We need you guys to get this out. Our channel is extremely deboosted. We need you guys, the ground game, boots on the ground, DH Alliance, to get these transmissions out. So thank you guys very much. And also go cop a t-shirt. This is the new anti-censorship t-shirt. So if you guys would like to support me that way as well, you guys can go cop this t-shirt. This is one of my favorites personally, but there's other favorites. I think people really love that Hold the Line t-shirt. They really love that Apparently t-shirt. Let me show you guys some of this stuff if we can get this up real quick. Yep. So here's some of the merch that we have. People love the based merch line, the Stay Free, the Hold the Line. The ones at the top here are the ones that people seem to be really purchasing and enjoying. So all of these proceeds go directly to the show and everything that I am doing independently. Drew Hernandez, myself. And there's t-shirts for ladies as well. Bunch of cool stuff that I've said. I have a bunch of new designs that I'm about to roll out. Here's the pro-life line. People really loved this one too. So, I mean, I encourage people, man, let your values be known. Go cop a pro-life t-shirt right now. Walk around with it. Who cares? Who cares? You're already canceled, man. People already hate you. Might as well, you know, say what you believe while they hate you. So let's take this down. All right, guys. Well, we got some super chats rolling in. Thank you guys so much for your support. It means more than you know. We need it. We need you guys. We really do. So thank you guys very much. I hope you guys had an amazing Christmas. I saw Spider-Man It was great. I loved seeing Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield. I think Tobey Maguire, I don't know. I really like Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. I know that's controversial. A lot of people hated the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, but I really liked it. I really liked him as Spider-Man. I mean, the story was kind of but I loved the character he brought when he did. And Tobey Maguire, it's just so classic. You know, Tobey Maguire. What did you guys think? Did you guys see Spider-Man? It's No Way Home, right? It was amazing. I thought it was great. It wasn't woke. There were some little things here and there. I know people are very controversial about their support for Disney, but you know, when I see a good movie, I'm just willing to you know, acknowledge it. And when it was just good, dude. It was great. It was great. It was great. And I probably should have you know, give a spoiler alert, but if you haven't seen that floating around social media by now, then what are you doing? But it was great. So let's do some super chats real quick. The Matrix too. The Matrix was dumb. I didn't like it. It was just dumb. All right, let's see. All right, we have some super chats here from Chris Gilbert. A $5 super chat. We salute you, Chris Gilbert. Thank you so much for supporting us. It means a lot. It's very hard for us to monetize here on this channel, so we really do appreciate you guys. Chris Gilbert says, enjoy your perspectives. Thank you so much for what you do. Well, I'm glad you enjoy it, Gilbert, because YouTube definitely doesn't. And there's a lot of people out there that hate what I have to say. So thank you for the love, man. I truly do appreciate it. And thank you for the support, Chris. We have another $10 super chat from Yo Mama Fool. Is that what it is? Yo Mama Fool says, stay strong. Absolutely. We continue to stay strong. Thank you so much. We have a $5 super chat from Damizy626. What's going on, my brother? Says, I like how the grandpa tells her to sit down, Karen. Happy New Year to you and your family, Drew. God bless. Well, God bless you, Damizy626. Thank you so much for the continued support. Man, you've been supporting me for a very long time. I truly appreciate it. But I mean, that video, for those of you that haven't seen it, man, I'm going to play it for you guys one more time. This lady is just crazy, dude. Look at let's play it again. We'll go to that part that he's talking about.
Who invited you to come
I'm eating and I can...
stand your ass up?
Sit down, Karen.
Karen?
You're a goddamn Karen.
No.
Sit down.
Sir.
Sit down, Karen.
Sit down, pussy.
Ma'am,
Pussy, no, you're the pussy.
Oh, no, you're
Right
the
there.
dick.
ma'am, do you want the police to meet you?
These people are depraved. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything with them is sexual. All that's on their minds are like genitals. You know what I mean? Like female genitals, male genitals, like that. Her comeback on her mind are just like genitals. Like these people are just so obsessed. Everything on they're depraved, they're perverted. I mean, like, what a flex, right? Imagine flexing against an 80-year-old man thinking that you're actually like doing something in life. It's kind of pathetic. I understand she's a female. I mean, but still, 80 years old, bro. 80 years old. Like, you feel good about yourself? It shows you how dangerous these people really are. They're willing to do this against 80-year-old people. 80-year-old people. These totalitarian sociopaths are willing to do this against 80-year-old people. Gosh, it's a cult. That's why the title of this episode is it is a cult. They are displaying the behaviors of a cult. They worship their Lord and Savior, Dr. Fauci, because he's the one that sets the rules. And the doctrines of Fauci that get passed down to the lemmings are the ones that they violently and aggressively uphold and defend anyone that's not complying or anyone that defects. That is cult behavior. Straight up. It's funny at first, but then you're kind of like, damn, if these people get in power, like, yeah, we're screwed. We have a $10 super chat from Gray Talon 44. Says, thank you for backing the blue. Yes, I back the good blue. I think I pretty much explained that thoroughly. Listen, man, I just want conservatives to really think about this stuff, because you cannot blindly support anybody. Anybody, a politician, an organization, a police department, a fire department. I understand it's the right thing, the right wing thing to do. And it's the right thing to support police, but not bad police. And one bad apple doesn't ruin it for all of them. So it's very complicated for me to I hope it's not confusing, because I know I could sound very anarchist with the things that I'm saying, but I'm not. I'm 100% law and order. I am just willing to expose and call out bad cops when I see them. And if it's one, then I'm going after him. If it's 5, I'm going after him. If it's an entire department, I'm going after them. But we need law and order. I'm a firm believer in that because I am a believer and the Bible teaches it. We have another $5 super chat from Stevie Capone. Stevie Capone, we salute you, brother. Stevie Capone says, it's infuriating to see some cops enforce these left-wing unconstitutional mandates. Yep, especially considering the left doesn't support them anyway. Exactly. You see what this is another hard thing to explain, Stevie, because we would really have to talk to some of these cops, like, to find out where their hearts are really at. I mean, are these police officers that are really believing in the mandates? And someone might say, well, they just have to follow orders. It's their job to uphold the law. No. It's their job to uphold law that is constitutional. Anything that is unconstitutional, they have to turn their backs on, and stuff like this is just inhuman. It's bad. So we would have to really talk to these guys and be like, do you honestly believe in these mandates? Because if you do, then you're just an agent of the police state in the United States of America. But if they don't, that's why I made that distinction earlier. If there are good cops that are just like stuck in the middle and it's like, I gotta feed my family, so I'm gonna sacrifice my country, that's how we end up in a police state when good men do and say nothing. And that's all I got to say there. I'm just saying what needs to be said. I know it's very hard to say, and your favorite conservative commentator may not be saying the same stuff that I'm saying. I'm not saying that I'm, anything better. I'm just willing to say what everyone's freaking thinking. Straight up. It's true. It's true. Whether left or right. Yes. Okay, we have some more super chats. Let me pull this up real quick. Let me refresh this. All right, here we go. We have another super chat from David Bigart, a $5 super chat. We salute you. What's your thoughts on the whole Steven Crowder and YouTube situation? Would you ever want to be on Louder with Crowder? I'm sure they would love to have you on the show. Yeah, I was going to be on Crowder's show during the trial, but I was on a flight and didn't make it in time. So yeah, I'm in contact with Crowder's producers, and I'm pretty sure I'll be on the show soon. I just didn't. You guys can only imagine what was going on with the trial, like media appearance after media appearance, and yeah, Crowder's team did reach out to me, but it wasn't able to happen, unfortunately. But yeah, of course, I would love to be on his show. The thing that's happened, and this is what's discouraging. It's like YouTube is so hopeless if you don't have obedience to the regime, right? Because you could be as big as Steven Crowder and they still got you by the balls. You know what I'm saying? And like, thank God for Rumble. I mean, for creators that are that big, that have Rumble, that have Odyssey, these alternate platforms. But Rumble's really expensive. And obviously someone like Steven Crowder could afford that to stream, daily, monthly on Rumble. But this is why the little guy like me needs you guys' support. But yeah, I mean, I think it's I've seen things happening to people like Steven Crowder. I've seen things happening to a lot of creators. I'm not saying what's happening to them is not serious, but look what happened to Alex Jones first. Totally banned, deplatformed on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, you name it, everywhere, banned everywhere. Had to engineer his own platform, video platform for his show. Alex is already huge on the radio, but when it comes to the internet, when it comes to live feeds like that, I mean, I think he is literally the model. And I think maybe a lot of creators thought that, well, we're not as crazy as Alex. Maybe we could get by. I'm not saying that's what Steven thought. I'm just saying it's not a surprise to me that they're going after someone like Steven Crowder, who is nowhere near an Alex Jones. But this is where this stuff goes. And I'm pretty sure Tim Pool is next. That's why Tim built his own infrastructure. He's got his own website. He's got his own. If they decide to jack him out, he's done. He's got a place to continue to stream. He's got his own paywall. He's got the whole thing. So I think that's the future now. The internet definitely needs to be decentralized because it's been way too centralized, especially for media and information. So I hope Steven, if Steven gets banned from YouTube, would it really surprise you? Everything and anything is a threat to these people. They freaking call Tim Pool alt-right. Okay? Tim Pool is too far right for these leftists on YouTube. You see what I'm saying? So it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time, but yeah. I'm pretty sure he'll be all right. Steven will be all right. Let's see. We have another super chat from Sleeping Bear. Says this is reminiscent of black people being turned away from restaurants. Anyone defending this is a monster, especially police officers. You see what I'm saying? It's not right. Anyone that has a conscience watches this stuff and says, shame on those cops. This is not right. That doesn't mean, listen, I think a lot of conservatives are afraid of talking like that because they don't want to be viewed as like anarchists, which means you don't believe in any law and order whatsoever. Or they don't want to be viewed as like anti-police. You're not anti-police when you hold bad cops accountable. That should be a virtue in you. Okay? That's you, right? Like you like calling out darkness or evil when bad things happen. Well, cops don't get a pass. Nobody gets a pass. Trump doesn't get a pass. Nobody gets a pass. So, but yes, you're right. I've talked to these people in New York. I've talked to the black community in the Bronx, and they all say the same thing too. They say the same thing, that these unconstitutional, these jab mandates, these mask mandates, they say that they feel it's reminiscent to Jim Crow laws. That's a quote. I've literally talked to them in New York, and that's, to go to your point, that's how they feel, because it is. It's discrimination. I was in California. I should have took a picture of it. I was in California. I think my buddy has it. Maybe I'll get it for you guys. But I was in California, and I went to a mall in California, and there's just so many stupid things, dude. Like, so many stupid things. They're just like mind blowing. I was in California, for Christmas, and we went to the mall. I'm not gonna say which mall, but we were at the mall, and we walk up to the store, and there's this little sign on the door. It's a department store, clothing store, and it says, "We have no tolerance for discrimination, racism, sexism, or anything of the sort." And then literally right next to that sign, there's a sign that says masks are required to enter into the store. And I'm just like sitting there shaking my head like, number one, if you need a sign to tell people you're not a racist, it's like, cringe, bro. Like, you got some serious problems. Talk about a virtue signal. But number two, it's like, yeah, we don't discriminate unless it has to do with COVID. And if you're not wearing a mask, no service. So it's like, we don't discriminate, but we discriminate. It's like, dude, it's exhausting with these people. I should have took a picture of it, man. I think my buddy has a picture of it. I'll show it to you guys. I'll text him after this. It's just stupid, dude. So I call these people woke-tards. It's just the only word that fits. Let me see. We have another $5 super chat from Stevie Capone. We salute you, man. Stevie says, as much as I loved seeing all... Spoiler alert, by the way. We're going to talk about Spider-Man real quick. No Way Home. Spoiler alert. As much as I loved seeing all three Spider-Mans, I was more excited for the Matt Murdock and Eddie Brock cameos. Yes, that was cool. And I like the way they did it. Because you could tell that there was good writing that went into this movie, and that's what we're not seeing anymore. People that actually watched the Eternals, it was a woke disaster. They were more concerned about diversity than actually making a good movie, and the movie sucked completely. And you're seeing this in Phase 4 with Marvel, where every single movie all of the Disney Plus series, everything that comes out is more of a political statement of diversity rather than actually making a good piece of content, a good movie, or writing a good story to inspire somebody. Isn't it crazy when you watch Marvel Phase 4? It's not even like, you would think that they would want to make a movie about like a gay superhero that actually had a good story. They don't even do that. They just want to steal everything because they hate people. They just want to steal everything because they suck. They can't write anything good, so they have to steal it, take it from you in order to piss you off because they know they can. Like, you would think that if they did want to make Spider-Man gay or whatever, like they just like they make Loki bisexual, right? In the Loki series. Like, you would think that they would accompany that with a story that would inspire someone that's gay. But these people aren't creative. It's just, he's gay, everybody worship, yay, we're all inspired. Oh, he's black. Well, does he do anything? No, he's just black. Everybody worship, yay. That's like literally what the Eternals was. It was like not a great story. It's just a statement of diversity, and that's the future of Marvel. But they don't do that. And you take a look at some of the old school movies, you see like, what is it, Phase 1, 2, 3, like you look at Thor, the introduction of Thor, you look at the introduction of some of the heroes in the MCU, they all had great origin stories because of the comics, and then on screen it looked great, and it inspired the viewer, regardless of your skin color or your sexuality. The LGBTQ agenda doesn't even give you a great story to accompany their gay product. I don't know, man. It's just stupid, dude. They're not well written.
Well, and it was because it was from Sony too. It wasn't just Disney.
Yeah.
Since Spider-Man is owned by Sony.
Oh, and by the way, you guys are hearing Sophia. She's on the mic. We'll get her on the camera soon. But
hello, chat. She
says hello. She's going to chime in every now and then. But yes, we did watch Spider-Man, and it was a great movie. It had a great story. I really loved how they really gave honor to the past characters because, I mean, you missed it. You walked out when Tobey Maguire showed up and Andrew Garfield, but people were like, man, I was like, yes, yes, yes. And they didn't destroy them. They didn't like woke them. They didn't like demean them because they're white, you know? So it was just a great story. I don't want to give away too much, spoiler alert, but it was actually a good movie. And I appreciated that because it wasn't just some, you know, woke burger that was thrown together in order to, you know, just be diverse. It was actually really good. All the characters, the character arc. I think the character arc with Peter Parker now is kind of back on track. I know that Gary talked about this. Nerderotic talked about how he's like Iron Boy now, and people just are like, he personally doesn't like it. And I get that. And I think they kind of saw that, and they reworked Peter Parker to just be that classic Spider-Man at the end of all of this. So we'll see where this goes, but I just don't get my hopes up anymore. If it's a good movie, it's a good movie. I don't get my hopes up. I mean, even The Matrix, spoiler alert, The Matrix was just like, you would think that they would want to just do something so awesome with such a franchise that made such a cultural impact worldwide. They bring it back. Matrix 4. Like, they would just want to make an amazing movie, but it's a political statement, and it's just like, I can't. Have you guys watched, now I'm just like going on a rabbit trail. Have you guys watched Don't Look Up with Leonardo DiCaprio and what's her name?
Jennifer Lawrence. Someone mentioned it in the chat earlier. Yeah.
That movie is actually funny because it's got a political message, but it makes fun of everybody. That's the kind of stuff I like. That's the kind of stuff. And I was shocked that was actually on Netflix. It's like a 2.5 hour long movie. It's about an asteroid that's going to destroy planet Earth, and it gets politicized. This is funny, dude. It's just because it's so true. Like, they involve the internet, social media, you know, they make it look like the conspiracy theorists don't believe the asteroids actually, like, there's different camps that are compartmentalized that has to do with like the end of the world. And I don't know. I thought it was Don't Look Up. Yes, it's good. I liked it. I thought it was funny because they make fun of everybody, and I don't care. Like, that's the kind of stuff I like. I think you guys would enjoy it. I think you guys would enjoy it. Okay, we got another super chat from Goofy Foot, a $5 super chat. We salute you. It's sad when televangelist Kenneth Copeland, that guy is a heretic. Anyone that denies the deity of Jesus Christ and tells you that Jesus is not God and claims to be a Christian is by definition the biblical definition of a heretic, period. It's sad when televangelist Kenneth Copeland's statement has some truth. He won't fly in a tube full of demons. Oh, yeah. For those of you that don't know what that is Kenneth Copeland was on an interview once. He's a heretic. And he was explaining why he flies in private jets and doesn't fly commercial airline. And one of the reasons he gave was because there's too many demons in the plane. And it's like you're in a tube full of demons. So, I mean, that lady is definitely demonic. I'll tell you that right now. That lady is definitely 100% demonic. It's so crazy to watch that, dude. Like, yeah. But this is what Fauciism has done to people. It has brought, like, the mentally ill, the totalitarian sociopath, psychopath. It has emboldened these people. They've emboldened them. Literally. We have another super chat from Gray Talon 44, $10 super chat. Gray Talon says, how would you explain to someone the difference between right-wing and alt-right? That is a loaded question. I think the best way to put it is, I mean, see, this is what's hard. This is what's hard about explaining right-wing. Because you have these definitions that the left has put on people, and they've demonized them. They like to make alt-right look like people that support white supremacy and Nazis, right? But alt-right could basically be someone that is a populist, that has right-wing views, that supports Donald Trump, but it's been slandered in that way. Right-wing views themselves are obviously more traditional. I mean, when you take a look at the family, when you take a look at life in the womb, when you take a look at the constitutional views, when you take a look at different policies and things that you support, there's different conversations that need to be had here, especially when you're talking about left and right, because there's social issues, there's financial issues, there's political issues. But I think the main point are those points where you take a look at what your views are on the family, when it comes to life, when it comes to your values financially. I think these are the types of things that literally have to be specific when you talk about them. But those are just some of the basics. But I think that's kind of like what the left has done, because a lot of alt-right people would identify as like populists, Trump supporter conservatives. Just to throw terms out there, I think that's kind of like where you see people going right now. Hold on, I think we had another one on, let me give you, here we go. Okay, yeah, here we have a $5 donation. Sorry guys, I'm trying to get these out quickly. We have a bunch here right now. We have a $5 donation for Hope, from Julie Clark, sorry. From Julie Clark, a $5 donation from Julie Clark says, hope you had a wonderful Christmas. Julie, thank you so much for the support. We truly appreciate it. Merry Christmas to you and your entire family. Thank you so much for the continued support. It means a lot to me and my family. We have a $5 donation from Rachel Webster here on PayPal. And by the way, you can give a donation on Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal. But we have a $5 donation from Rachel Webster on PayPal. Rachel says, is Grogu really Yoda as a baby? I've never seen Star Wars, but I am curious. There's a lot of speculation to that. That is a whole theory in of itself, because during The Mandalorian Season 2, we found out that Grogu was actually his name, but we found out that during the execution of Order 66, when Grogu was alive, actually. We didn't know this, but Grogu was alive during the execution of Order 66 at the end of Episode 3 in Star Wars. That's when Anakin turns on the Jedi, he sides with Palpatine, and they attempt to purge all of the Jedi in the galaxy. It's called Order 66, and then install the Empire. That's when Anakin becomes Darth Vader. It's one of the biggest moments in Star Wars. But during that entire Jedi purge, apparently Grogu was alive and Grogu was hiding somewhere in the Jedi temple. It's theorized that's what he told, what was her name?
That's what he told Ahsoka.
Ahsoka. That's what he told Ahsoka in The Mandalorian season 2.
Yeah.
In their little conversation. So the theory is it's possible, because Yoda was alive at that time, people theorize that it's possible that Grogu could be a descendant of, what was her name? Yodel, I think. Because in The Phantom Menace, you see Yodel, right? I think it's The Phantom Menace or the Clone Wars. There's like a female version you see very briefly in the Jedi Council. She's like a female version of Yoda. And then obviously there's Yoda. Those are the only species that you see in the canon, I believe. Well, in the movies, at least the movies, I'll speak of that. I don't know too much about the canon, comics, all that. But so it's theorized that he could possibly be a descendant of Yoda and Yodel. I don't know, Yodel or something like that. So, but he was around. He could be a baby Yoda, but his name is Grogu. He's the same species as Yoda that we do know. Nobody knows what the species is. It doesn't have a name. I don't even think George Lucas gave it a name. But it's obvious. So he could be. He could be. So, yes.
Drew still has Grogu.
Yeah, he's still there.
Yeah, he's still around.
He's hanging out in the other room right now. He just retired. He retired for now. But yeah, so, all right, guys. Well, we are going to head out. Thank you guys so much for the support. If you guys are watching the rebroadcast of this right now, please consider joining the DH Alliance for as low as $5 a month, or you can customize your monthly giving on Patreon. The link is in the description below. If you love this t-shirt, Anti-Censorship, it's my favorite. You want to wear the same merch that I wear, go rock it, wear it around town. Start 2022 on the right foot, strong. Go buy some Drew H live merch right now. The link is in the description as well. Share this transmission, copy the link, share it anywhere you can on your socials. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, and toggle on the all selection. Thank you guys very much. Smash that like button, destroy that like button. I will see you guys tomorrow at the same time. That's at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And hey, we got a big announcement coming sometime in January, and you're only going to hear about it if you're following me on social media. All of my links are in the description below. Thank you guys very much. I truly appreciate it. Hope you guys had a Merry Christmas. Have a Happy New Year, but I'm going to see you tomorrow anyway. So love you guys very much. Have a great night. Stay safe. And like I always, America, stay free.